the Smyle Co podcast. We are a platform to encourage and inspire creators to live their dreams and do what makes them smile. Today, Q, it's good to see you, bro.
Great seeing you.
It's good to see that smile.
Great. Thanks for having me. I love being here, for sure.
So my guest today is Quincy Pondexter, an incredible basketball player. He played 4 years of collegiate basketball for the Washington Huskies.
Yeah. First
team All-Pac-10, honorable mention All-American, drafted in the first round of the NBA draft, and played professional basketball for how many years?
9 years, because I was hurt 2 of them. But 9 years. 9 years.
Man, I remember seeing you here right after you had the crutches on, man.
Yeah. A lot of injuries.
And now you're currently coaching
at University of Washington.
Right on, man.
Yeah. It's a blessing, man. Life comes full circle sometimes, and it's great to be back there for sure.
That's incredible. And then you played high school ball in Fresno.
San Joaquin Memorial. Yeah, got to play with some cool teammates, which is great. But
yeah, who's on that team?
Brooke and Robin Lopez are on my high school team, which is kind of crazy to look back at it. You had 3 first-round picks on the same team, and they've had the careers they've had. I've had the career I had, and it's just great that we all got to come from the same hometown and achieve our dreams.
Did you guys win the state?
We never won a state championship. It's one of those things that people always ask. We lost the game before the championship like 3 years in a row. But
to who?
Oh man, we lost some good players. Even going back to my freshman year, I think we lost earlier, but we lost to like Robert Swift my freshman year, and then we lost to Jared Dudley in a closeout game. My sophomore year, we lost to Amir Johnson, who ended up being an NBA player for a long time. Yep. We lost my junior year. We lost to Drew Holiday, Justin Holiday, and then my senior year, we lost to a school called Horizon. They had Jeff Withy on the team. So,
were those all in the state championships?
They were all in the game before. So the Southern Championship, we lost in that 3 years in a row. And we shouldn't have been Southern. We should have been Northern. But it's something that sticks with you. It builds a little fire. It helped me be motivated to dominate every step after that. So.
And then did you know you wanted to go to the Huskies, or?
It wasn't like a dream school of mine. It ended up being a school I felt the most comfortable with, a coach that I could really trust. Like that was something that was big for me and my family, is having someone that at the end of the day, they weren't gonna lie to you. It was the only school that didn't promise me anything, And my family was like, yo, you got to make the morally correct decision in your heart to pick where you want to go. And it so happened to be Washington, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's really cool that you're back there coaching.
Yes. And it's, again, I would told myself I would only go places to coach that I felt comfortable. And so being back at Washington was easy because, I knew where everything was. I know how to get to the gym. I know how to get to the training room. I know how to get, on campus. I still know everything. It was just fresh in my mind, like it was my freshman year in college. And so, it made the transition really easy to go from playing to coaching, really, really seamless.
That's awesome, man. So one of the main things that we're doing with Smyle is really trying to encourage people to live their dreams, so that you can do anything as long as you work hard and put in the time.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind like touching on a little bit, like your younger years, like when did you know that like, hey, I'm gonna be in the NBA, or like when did you know that you could be successful doing what you're doing?
Man, I always say like it was one of those things I felt was destined. I think from the time I was born, I said I wanted to be an NBA player. Like my first word was ball. I think, my dad played in the NBA, or he got drafted in the NBA. My dad played a long career overseas. My uncle played in the NBA. And so it was something that was just always naturally a part of me. I never was forced to play, or no one ever, I can't remember the first time I ever picked up a basketball and say, oh, I want to do this. It was already something that was in my blood.
Right.
So, to actually make it and live out your dream and actually make it to that point, because you have to go through so many hurdles, you have to go through so many obstacles to make it, and to finally play on that NBA floor was something special. And so every time like a national anthem or something going on, like I would like tear up, or you're seeing Kobe Bryant on the other end, LeBron James, and all these guys, and like I made it as a fan of the game. I didn't make it as like an NBA player. I made it as like, yo, this is really cool. I snuck into the NBA, and that's how I felt, and I loved every bit of my career for that.
How was draft night?
Man, draft night was surreal. I was different. I don't think me and my agent were talking about it earlier. I knew I was gonna go first round. I had a feeling. Teams that told me that I was gonna go first round, and so, but I wasn't lottery enough to be like in the green room in New York City, and so I was like, a really cool thing would be to be in the gym, to be working out, and I was like, I want to get an edge on everyone else because I know they're in the green room in New York, so I know they got to be in their suits and all this stuff. So, I flew my family all out to Seattle. We did it at University of Washington. My family was like in a banquet room, and some of my friends and close friends were in a gym. We're in our gym. We were working out. I told everyone to turn off their phones. I said, and I told my agent, I was like, he was watching the TV. I said, when I'm getting close to getting drafted or about to get drafted, come get me, and then I'll go watch it on the screen. And so, it felt like hours and hours had gone by, and my brother's like sneaking and checking his phone, and I'm like, yo, at some point in time, I'm in the middle of work. I was like, damn, what pick are they at? And he was like, man, they're only at like 8. So I was like, all right, man, let's go watch this thing. And so, I finished the workout. I'm still sweaty, still got my workout gear on, and I got to watch it with my family and in a natural state. Very little camera footage of that day, because that's how I want to keep it. I want to keep it organic and a memory with my family I could just keep with them. I wasn't really a camera guy, and they said my name, and my family just, it's the most joyous moment probably in my life.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. That's amazing. So. When you, I'm curious. I texted you. We were texting a little earlier about like your diet and routine and stuff. Like,
yeah.
When you were in high school, I'm sure you come from a family that knows what's up.
Yeah.
So how much did your training and diet and routine change? I know it gets more intense, but like from high school, because I know you probably grew up knowing what to eat, knowing how to work out.
I grew up a really skinny kid that loved candy. I still have a love for candy, but my workout reached different pinnacles every single time. They reached different peaks. I remember I was telling a story earlier, was I got from junior high to high school, and I got with this coach that was really good. He had been a college coach before he was a high school coach, and I worked out with him, and I thought I was going as hard as I possibly could. I pushed myself to a point of like exhaustion. I worked my tail off. He finally had me start lifting real weights. Next day, after 2 days, I couldn't get out of bed. My body like literally was like, you're done. Like I could not get out of bed because like I had not pushed myself to that level before, and my body didn't know how to react to weights. And so I sat in bed the next 3 days, and then, I got back at it, and I started chipping away. And, I realized that, I had to take my game to another level. So I had to eat right, lifting weights, going on runs. I had to get my athleticism up a lot. Then I got to college. Kind of the same thing happened. So I love being the guy that I was, because I always had something to prove, but I knew how to do it. I knew how to fish. I knew how to hunt because of my younger years of not being, the most talented, not being the best. I knew how to wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. and go work out. I knew how to wake up and, go lift, or make sure I take care of my body, make sure I go to sleep on time, make sure I eat the right things, no sodas. And, those things from my early childhood, it helped me get to the NBA and helped me last in the NBA. Because without those little things, somebody might be drinking sodas, I'm not drinking it. Right. I think that might be a little edge I needed to beat that guy out. And so, once you get to the upper echelon of the game, it's really, really a sliver that could differentiate, if he makes it or I made it. And if he's going to feed his family or if I'm going to feed my family. And so that's how I approach the game. So
when you got to the league and you start playing and training, was that just another upper echelon?
It went to I went to psychopath mode for a while, because I came in the league not playing as much. I came on a playoff team with Chris Paul and David West, and we played the Lakers in the first round, and I'm a rookie. I'm going from scoring 20 points a game at Washington to you're back at the bottom of the totem pole, and so I had a lot to prove. So my workouts went to the extreme. 4 or 5 a.m. on the court, then you lift, then you might go get a snack to eat, whatever, take a little nap, then you're back at it for another 2-hour workout. Maybe you're back at it for yoga. Maybe you've got another workout. Maybe you got to take care of your body. So I started going from, pretty hard worker to like 6 to 10 hours a day. I started treating it like, too much, maybe a little overkill on my body. I think that's something I would say was a little bit of a regret. I never gave myself a chance to relax, take time, let my body recover, heal. It was just like, you got to be good. You got a lot to represent. You got a lot on your back. And, I had to push myself to that limit.
Was yoga like your decision, or was it a recommendation? Or
man, I was not flexible at all. So I did a yoga session, and I realized it was my weakness. And some people run from their weaknesses, and I felt that, I saw that, and I was like, you know what, I gotta go do this now. Like, I'm terrible. I can't touch my toes. I'm the worst flexibility ever. My hips are tight. All right, I gotta get this, because if I get this, then I'm going to be way better than I was, and I can make my moves better and all that. And so yoga became part of my practice and working out. And, it's still a lot of components of it translate to basketball a lot.
Yeah. I love yoga. It's incredible. The camaraderie that you have when you're in high school, and it's the best, I'm sure the Lopez twins are still your boys,
Yeah.
And then, how was it going from the Huskies? I mean, you played 4 years, so then you had guys there, and I'm sure you grew, maybe not as close as Robin and Brooke, but how was that feeling in the NBA?
Man, of course you definitely have a brotherhood with some guys in the NBA. It's different, and a lot of times the guys that I've grown so close with, they might not have been teammates like that long or that much. Rudy Gay is really, really close with me. Like, he's someone I could call anytime. He'll pick up, and he's been a close friend. Joel Embiid was with our agency, same agency as me, and they asked me to take him under my wing. And, I'm thinking of just
like this
guy, just, yeah, something like that. And I'm thinking of him just, being a good player. Maybe one day he'll be good. And, I never thought, he'd be NBA MVP. And so, but our relationship formed completely different. It formed as just friends. We had nothing to do with basketball. We loved the game. We started speaking the game so much to each other, and we just formed a brotherhood. So, Brooke and Robin, of course, those are my guys forever. They're my brothers for life. And there's a lot. Quinn Cook is a close friend, and just a lot of guys. But to see, something that warms my heart is to see those guys be so successful in what they do. And so to cheer for your friends that make it to that level is amazing. My college roommate played football, and he, after college, he didn't make it to professionals or anything, and he ended up being a strength coach. And now he's a strength coach on the Miami Heat. He was just almost won a championship. And so to see, him make it from where he was, and I flew out there just to support him, even though he's not going to step foot on the court to play. It's amazing to see like the relationships that you have from elementary to junior high to high school to college, and the NBA. Some of these people have been my friends they will be friends for the rest of my life.
Tell me a little bit about Chris Paul when you played with him, because he is unreal, and he's been doing it for so long on such a high level. I mean, did you get in and, it was like, you want to follow certain people, right? Yeah. Like, what was his work ethic like? Of course, like
I made it, and I was like, oh man, first thing I thought was like, I'm teammates with Chris Paul. I couldn't believe it. And, to be a teammate of stars is crazy, because they're normal guys too.
Yeah.
But Chris was someone, my rookie year, I was lucky. So I had Chris Paul, I had Monty Williams, who's, went NBA Coach of the Year. He's a phenomenal coach. But Chris on the court and as a competitor showed me that those guys that are good, they're good for a reason. Those guys that are great, those guys are special. They're great for a reason. Because no matter what, I pride myself on being the first one in the gym. He would be second, and he would stay late after, he probably played 30 minutes the night before. He practiced hard the whole time. He got his extra work in before. He got his lifting, got his body weight in, and then after, me and him are playing one-on-one for 30 minutes to an hour after practice.
Did you ever beat him one-on-one?
I beat him one-on-one quite a few times.
Oh, I'm glad we got that on the cast.
Yeah, yeah. He probably won't agree. He probably won't play me right now. But Chris he's the ultimate competitor, man. And so I got to see someone like that just lay it on the line. They have everything they want in life, but why are you playing this game so hard? And that means it's something bigger than that to them. It's not about the money or nothing like that. It's bigger. So, and then Monty Williams, he was rookie head coach at the time, and he took me under his wing as well and say, this is what you're going to do to have a successful career. And I might not have liked it at first, but what he's did for me then and what he's done for me since has really molded me into the person I am today.
When you guys are playing, like, I think a lot of people enjoy basketball and they watch it and they understand the rules of it, but then when you get to that level of film and studying and can you touch on that a little bit? Like how much deeper your playbook goes or?
Oh, it's insane, man. These, to be one of the best 450 players in the world, it means something. So like there's to be like, when you break it down to that, you're just 450. Like some people aren't that in their school. Like to be one of those is amazing. I think those guys that make it to that level and are able to sustain it, and then you break into that top 200, then you break into the top 100, and then the top 50, 25 guys. Those guys are special, and they're special for a reason. Like maybe they're freakish athletes, but then a guy like Chris Paul that would revert back to, or Mike Conley, those guys are, they study their film no matter what. Like Chris Paul, I sat next to him my rookie year every flight. After every game, win or loss, mad as hell, happy, before he does anything else, he breaks down and watches the entire game and shows and sees himself and what he does, and then sees all his teammates. So he's able to call you out on what you did wrong, what you did right, and he watches it like a coach. He watches hours and hours of film. So the dedication and preparation to be great, those guys are able to never turn it off. Like, he finishes that, then he's getting treatment on his body, then he's eating the right things. And, to see somebody at that high level, it's like watching Steve Jobs perform. It's like watching the Bill Gates or Elon Musk perform at such a high level that not many people operate at.
And I think personally, and I share this with a lot of people that I'm trying to encourage or that want to be great at something. It's like from sports, we learned, fundamentals, then practice, then game time, then film to watch yourself, in anything, not just sports. Like, you got to learn how to do something, then you practice it, and then it's game time, go time, whatever that go time is, whether it's playing the guitar or doing a presentation, but then like to watch film on yourself and reflect. That's what I learned was like, wow, like I do that, or that's what I did, Yeah,
I think that's an area I should have done more. I don't think we had the technology as much either. Like when I first got in the league, it was like disc and all this other things. Like now I could watch a game on a phone.
Yeah.
I could watch it on my iPad. I could get it really quick. Back then I had like a hard drive that I had to plug into an outlet to maybe get the film, and it takes like an hour to download. It was, it was torture.
That's crazy. Like where the game's going too. Like instantly, like you're on the sidelines, they have an iPad and they're just all blah, 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 blah.
It's changing. So, decisions and how to execute is changing on the fly in the games now. You don't have to wait till game 2. Like, in a playoff series, like in the middle of game 1, you can see their adjustments and make another audible on the fly. So the game is definitely, it's evolving. I think the kids are, especially with technology and analytics and statistics, it's really, it's changing the game a lot. Yeah.
What do you think about, they say Curry's changing the game, and you're seeing everything going to 3-pointers now.
Yeah.
Do you think Do you think it's going to continue to go that way?
Again, it's they're trying to make it a positionless game where it's no. It's becoming more and more like 2K, where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna put my best 5 out there, no matter what position, just put them out there where there's no plays, and you're playing seamless. And it's cool to see the game evolve and change. I would like to see it have kind of a consistent tone to it, because regular season basketball, a lot more threes, lot more fast paced, a lot less defense. Then you get to the playoffs, and then the playoffs is a whole different brand of basketball. You're seeing the refs let them get away with touching or contact or physicality, and just a whole different brand of basketball. So, like, if we could find like a baseline level where, the game's going to change up and down a little bit. Maybe 5 years from now, 3-pointers are outlawed. Who knows? But I don't see that coming.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Warriors, they had so much success, but then they, obviously their core got, they've aged a little bit, and then different things have happened. So, a lot of teams wanted to follow what the best team was doing. And
but the best team had the best 3-point shooter of all time. Not.
It's like, is that sustainable?
Like, who else has the best 3-point shooter of all time? That doesn't happen.
And then the second best, And
then the second best. So I don't know if we'll ever see a wave like that again. Of course we will, but not in the near future.
And that's what's cool about, it clicked with me one time. I'm like, dude, why would Michael Jordan need a coach? And then it's like, well, coaches put the player in the best position to be successful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The coach with Mike, he actually put, Phil Jackson put his teammates in the position that they're supposed to be in. I think that's more of what, of course, Mike's going to be Mike. And I think some of the best players, some of the most legendary players, they are themselves, and they're going to do what they do. And I think, I told Giannis this, like, Giannis, you're going to win a championship regardless. Like, you reach such a peak, and you're such an amazing player. But again, the part that had to be altered was the role players.
Right.
You get a Drew Holiday with Giannis, you get a Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis is playing out of his mind, Brook Lopez is playing unbelievable. They played around him. He was able to do what he did, and they took the pressure off of him a little bit. But his teammates had to rise up to his level, and I think that's what the big time stars do. They get players to can't get to their level, but get to a level enough to help them succeed.
When you were playing, who was the hardest person you had to guard?
Kobe. No question. I get asked that question all the time. Kobe, you go on the board, and you have a scouting report, and so
everything.
I was telling someone this. It was like, the scouting report was like, he has no weaknesses. He will pump fake a few times. Don't make him mad. I was like, fuck does that mean? Like,
I would love to see a picture of that.
Like,
that is,
don't make him mad. It's like, yeah, you make him mad, it's gonna be ugly for you. So it's like, the dude could do anything. He like left hand, right hand. He had an unbelievable left hand fadeaway shot on me, which was amazing. He post up. He was stronger than everyone. He can his athleticism. He was a first team all defensive guy every single year. Like, and he took pride at that. Yeah. So he was a player that you won't see again for a while. That's just mastered the game of basketball, and more than that, he made you fear him, like, because of his approach to the game. He wasn't laughing and joking and doing handshakes with the other team and all that. Nah, you better go to sleep at 7-8 p.m. You better get a good meal. You better watch tons of film on him, because he's coming at your head and he don't care, and he's gonna attack you from the first second that you step on the floor until you're out. So you're in submission, not when you're out. It's submission. He's an MMA guy. He's gonna pound you into submission.
I love watching and sharing like videos of Kobe, like him talking and what he's doing. So he was an easy actually answer, no question. Who's number 2?
Hard for me to guard. Man, there's a lot. Kevin Durant is always up there, because the guy's almost 7 feet tall, and so at any point in time he could just rise above you and shoot it. He's skilled like a point guard. He's quick. He's stronger than people think. He's one of the most elite scorers I've ever seen. I got to match up with. And then the James Hardens. Manu Ginobili was always hard for me to guard. I don't know why, but there's a lot, man. Those guys are really special.
What about on the other end, like the defense on you? Who are the baddest defensive players that you went against?
I think I was lucky enough to play with one of the best defenders of all time, which is Tony Allen. I got to play against him in practice every day. In practice, he's beating me up. He's scratching, he's clawing. We got in little tussles and fights and stuff. And he studied defense more than like a Peyton Manning would study offense. It was something amazing about how he approached playing defense. I'm still thinking about how to score buckets and then playing defense.
Right.
He's like, I'm gonna think about everything defense and how I'm gonna lock somebody up, and then all right, maybe if I get a layup, I get a layup. And he made our whole team help him guard, which was really cool. Like he would say, all right, now you come here, you got to go there, and we all collectively helped him guard, it made him even better defender than what he was, and it got Mark Gasol Defensive Player of the Year on that one.
Oh yeah, he did get that.
Yeah,
huh?
he did.
Have you ever? Did your coaches or did you guys ever practice any sort of like visualization or any?
You know what? As a league progressed, and when I first got in the league, we didn't have all that. And as you get in, you start having therapists, sports therapists,
yeah, like sports psychology. Yeah.
You start having visual guys. I actually had this one guy, which is crazy, that he was like a visual healer,
into meditation and
it was like a energy guy.
Healing?
It was weird. It was weird. I think we have it on film somewhere. They like filmed a TV show about it and they had me on there, but he was like supposed to be like energy, and he'll put his hands towards you and it'll heal an area or heal your mind. It was freakish, but there's a lot of resources out there, man, and for whatever someone wants to dig into, and if they really believe in it, I think it'll help. I think it'll help everyone.
So one of the main things I want to share with Smyle and kind of share with everyone is asking the questions to creators, athletes, talented, you, is what about your passion? What about your life? What about your platform? Like, what most makes you smile about that? Like, what makes you happy about playing ball, coaching, doing those things?
Man, that's a tough one.
And if there's several, you could, touch on them all.
I think, of course, being able to help others is such a passion of mine, where, you get to see, I've made my career. I was happy with it. Maybe could have done more. But, you have no regrets. But at the same time, the impact that is not only made on me and my family and close circle, but the impact I was able to make on others, whether you're taking another kid outside my circle and helping them reach their goals, or helping them reach the NBA or even reach college, or and to be able to live out their dreams like I got to live out mine. So that's something that definitely makes me smile daily. It's something I want to continue to do. That's why I'm in coaching, where I could, see people, live out their dreams, man. Yeah. I got to do it. God gave my blessing for my time, and now it's my time to bless others, for sure.
I think coaching is a beautiful thing, man, especially when you have that knowledge and you can share that.
Yeah.
Because we all just, I always try to learn from someone that knows more than me, even if, or just something different,
for sure.
And that's how we get better. Where do you see Quincy Pondexter in 5 years from now?
Fuck. Being a great father. Hopefully, I'm still coaching and able to impact others. Hopefully coaching at Fresno State or beyond.
Oh, there we go.
And just impacting others' lives, man. That's it. You're gonna see me smiling 5 years from now.
Yeah, I love
50
that.
years from now, you're gonna see me smiling. It's not, that shit ain't going away.
Love that. And then if you could, what pieces of advice could you give to anyone watching this, no matter what their age is, and wanting to be into basketball, maybe a coach, maybe play it, or following any of the footsteps that you went in?
If you're gonna do something, make sure you give it your all, and keep seeking new depths of how hard and how deep you can go. I asked a kid earlier today, "Are you the hardest worker you know?" And if you're not able to say yes, then you don't want it, no matter what field that is. You got to be the hardest worker in the room at whatever field that is. If I want to, be the best at playing dominoes, I got to play dominoes twice as much as everybody else. If I want to be a legend in track, I gotta do that. I want to be a doctor, scientist, whatever it is. It takes the hours, it takes the discipline in that. And so, whatever you want to do, never hesitate to go your all. Don't hesitate to be scared and say, all right, I don't know if I could do it. No, go full board in it and see how far you could go. See how many extra reps you can do. See how many hours you could push yourself to achieve your dreams. Because, somebody's out there doing it.
Right.
No matter what way we want to look at it, somebody's out there pushing themselves to get to an elite level. And nowadays you get to see it. You get to see how Floyd Mayweather trains. You get to look up stories of Kobe Bryant having, he worked out at 3 or 4 in the morning every day. Mark Wahlberg works out at 3 in the morning. He does a prayer service. He works out. He does all these things, and he sleeps by 6, 7 p.m. And that's like a real thing.
Wow.
You got to look that up every day.
Yeah.
And so, all those people have a commonality of how they work. And I've never heard too many people being like, oh yeah, I'm great, I'm one of the best ever, and I didn't do shit.
Yeah.
Like, you got to work.
You got to be special.
You got to be special with your work ethic. And that's what, determines if you're going to make it or not.
Yeah. Is there anything you're working on? Anything you want to share before we close things down?
No, man, I appreciate you having me, man. This is a really cool setup. I know you're going to do amazing things with this podcast.
Thank you.
Again, anytime you need me, I'm here.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I just, things are going really well. We're growing, and I want Smyle to be, how like Red Bull has a Formula One, Red Bull does, dance offs. Like, we're throwing all these events in San Diego. We just threw a fashion dinner where we had all these great designers come, and then
basketball tournament next.
Yeah, I mean, throw the hoop it up. Do they still do that hoop it up? The 3-on-3?
We gotta do it. We gotta make it.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it right here in this parking lot.
I'd love to, but yeah, we just want to be a platform to help creators and help everyone like live their dreams, man. We just want to be a positive influence and help people smile.
Yeah, always, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, man. My God.